If you haven't seen the last video, basically I've been making games on Roblox for years now. So this will be my first commercial game outside of Roblox. Most people think that fighting games is just mashing buttons and then seeing what happens, but no. Fighting games as a genre has so many subgenres that have their own subgenres. My fighting game, its placeholder name is Nizaal, which is Arabic for combat. My fighting game is a cross-up between traditional fighting games and platform fighting games. I would say that the game is 10% complete. And the reason why I'm so confident in saying that is because this is the first game of mine that uses a development document, and I'm actually planning from the very beginning rather than changing the gameplay and the design a million times throughout development and then suffering from scope creep and yada yada. Cool, that's fantastic. But what does that mean? What does that 10% actually mean? What have I made so far? Well, so far I've made the core gameplay. Core gameplay is the most important thing to work on, especially at the very beginning, because if you don't have core gameplay, then you don't have a game. So take, for example, Mario Kart DS. I love Mario Kart DS. I grew up on this game. I'm a beast at it. I will destroy you at it. When we look at Mario Kart DS's core gameplay, what you see is that you play as a character, each of which has their own stats. You choose a kart. The core gameplay involves you driving this kart on a track that has a certain amount of laps. And within this track, there are item boxes that when you hit them, they give you a random item, which you can then use against the other racers. You are racing with the intention of reaching first place. And there's a timer for how long it took you to complete the race, and you want to get that time as low as possible. That is the core gameplay. I'm not explaining anything new to you if you played this game before. But from that core gameplay, you can make Grand Prix, time trials, versus mode, mission mode, battle mode. All of that involves the core gameplay. And so when you look at a fighting game, what type of core gameplay does a fighting game need, right? Because a fighting game can have a mission mode, it can have a training mode, it can have a story mode, it can have a versus mode, it can have an online mode, but it needs that core gameplay to be good. So that's what I made. Both you and your opponent have 100 health points, and you have 100 seconds to deplete your opponent's health down to 0. You have 2 different attack buttons, normal and special, and these 2 attack buttons do different things depending on the direction that you move with the control stick. So for example, a forward normal, up normal, down normal. Forward special, up special, down special. You see? Block button, high block, low block, air block. But air blocks cannot be blocked by ground attacks. High blocks cannot block low attacks. Blocking is omnidirectional, so I'm not facing my opponent, but I still block. Everything that I'm doing is building up meter. See how that meter is building up? Let's see what happens whenever the meter is fully built up. I'm going to press the super art button. Boom! Boy, I knocked him out. Sheesh! You also have a dash. And you also have a grab. Throw him to the side. Throw it up, throw it up. Let me do that again. Oh yeah, you have forward air, up air, down air, back air. You can also parry. You press and release block button right before getting hit. And that does build meter. Nice. And there's 3 different jumps. A short hop, full jump, and then super jump. And I had to learn a lot about okizeme and midis and high-low mix-ups and numpad notation and safe jumps and whiff punishing and frame data, and my goodness, it was too much. But now that the core gameplay is finished, then I can make the rest of the game pretty easily. I've been having this channel for 13 years and I never showed my face because I was 12, 13, 14 years old. You can't be showing your face. Now I'm 25, so It's whatever. Anyway, so yeah, the rest of the game, the other 90% of the game that I'm gonna make, the full roster of characters whenever the game releases is gonna be 12. Some of the things that I plan on adding would be, the classic arcade mode where you go through 10 different stages in like a tournament setting. Versus mode, of course. Training mode, obviously. I plan on adding an online mode, online with rollback netcode. Mini games is going to be good for single player content and multiplayer, to be honest. A mission mode, kind of give you something to do besides just the main story. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't want to make the scope too big. I don't have to worry about scope creep because the scope's already finished. I already made the scope. All right, let's talk about the philosophy behind this game. There are 7 components. The first philosophy is that the game will be beginner friendly. I don't want to make a game that has 1,000 button combos, motion inputs, crazy stuff that you have to do in order to throw a fireball.
XXAABBYY, throw the controller 2 times, rotate, LL. Man, come on!
Platform fighting games have proven to us that you can make a game that has depth without making the execution of your attacks so complex. And also that beginner friendliness will apply even to the user interface. Pretty much like the UI on like your phone. It's very simple, very for everyone, right? And that's what I want to have. Not a game where there's like 1,000 stuff on the screen and you're just overwhelmed. Oh my god, like, nah, bro, it's too much. Another philosophy is I need this game to be lightweight. I'm not trying to make a game that's 100 gigs. I want to make a game that's ideally 100 megs and has no lag. Why is that so hard to make? Another philosophy is I want this game to be cross-platform. So, I don't have to explain that. You already know. Another philosophy is I want this game to be affordable. I shouldn't have to explain this, but I'm going to explain it anyway. Basically, the gaming industry is in a state where everyone is trying to sell incomplete games for a higher price, which is absurd. I want to do the opposite. I want to actually give the consumer a good product and give them a complete product for a bargain. And I think that this will benefit everyone, but it will particularly benefit people who are living in countries where games are kind of expensive. I want to make a product that is consumer friendly. I'm not trying to rip anybody off. Another philosophy is I want this game to be non-intrusive. I really, really, really hate how games have gone from being a product to being a service. You boot up these games, you're just completely swarmed with ads, microtransactions, just 1,000 buttons and shiny this, and oh my god, bro, it's too much. I hate it. Why are we why are we doing this? If I happen to release any DLC, it's gonna be content that is like way after the game launches, because I mean, pay DLC before the game launches? Like, no, bro. Another philosophy is I want this game to be Muslim themed. Wait! Don't go. Bringing religion into a commercial product is probably a terrible idea. There is a reason why there's practically no games on the market that have religious connotation. And the games that do, they're typically low quality or cheesy, corny. I'm Muslim. I want to make a game that's Muslim themed without shoving the religion down your throat. I just want to make it Muslim themed. I mean, if people can make a game about like ancient Greece and Rome and these mythologies and ancient China or ancient Japan and the Shinto religions, bro, imagine a fighting game that's actually good, that's not cheesy, not corny, it's actually good, but it takes place in like, Muslim lands from like 500 years ago. And the gameplay is still fire, but it's just a Muslim thing. That to me, hey, I'm making a game that I would play. That's the advice that everyone gives. It's possible that I might be like cutting off the amount of sales that I'll make from people who are like Islamophobic or whatever, or who just don't want to play a Muslim themed game. But I mean, 25% of the world's Muslim. Like,
we don't care. We don't care.
I'm making this game. The last point I want to make about my philosophy for this game is that it is a mobile first game. Wait! Don't go! What do I mean by mobile first? It is no secret that mobile games are trash. They are dumpster juice. They are dog water, bruh. However, I don't think that a game that's on mobile is automatically bad. I think mobile games in general are bad, but that's because there's no good mobile games that anyone's actually making. What if someone made a full console type, like PC type game, but it's on mobile? And what if that game actually had controls that were seriously good? The problem with mobile gaming is that there's no buttons, right? You look at a PC and it has all these buttons. Look at all these buttons. But when you look at a controller, it only has like, what? 8 buttons, 10 buttons. 12 buttons, right? There's not that many buttons. Anyway, and when you look at a phone, where's the buttons? There's no buttons on this. What are you going to use to play the game? The volume? Come on now. And so making games on mobile is hard because your traditional games that you play in literally any other space has to change completely. You have to change your gameplay to swipes and mobile game developers do one of two things when trying to port a full game to mobile. They either throw a bunch of virtual buttons onto the screen to emulate a gamepad, which feels extremely clunky on this touchscreen because nobody likes to press virtual buttons. Or they go the opposite route and they make like a game with 2 buttons, doesn't have any depth, no juice, no sauce.
Watch this. Night night. Wow.
Let's look at, for example, Mario Kart. It is traditionally played on a gamepad. You have an accelerate button, a brake button, drift button, an item button. On mobile, you saw what happened, man. Mario Kart Tour, oh my god. This nigga is trash. I refuse to believe that mobile gaming is just indefinitely clapped. If you can make a game, an actual good game on mobile, do you know how great that would be? Every person has a phone. And so if you can make a game that's actually good, that's 100 megs, that's a full experience, and put it on a device that everyone owns, oh my god, bro. Come on. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. I'm not going to explain in this video how I solved this issue because this video is long enough already. Oh my god. But yes. So yeah, I'm making a fighting game called Nizaal, which is pretty much a cross-up between traditional and platform fighting games. It'll be a full experience. It'll be on mobile, on PC, and hopefully also on console. And it's going to be great. So you should like subscribe to my channel and keep up with it. Because, yeah, you feel me? Like, know what I'm saying? Like, duh. Anyway, that's all I have for this video. Deuces.